But the question is, what is making Pakistan shake in its boots? What is it that the Pakistan leaders know in their hearts will hurt, but they're desperately trying to hide the pain behind the bluff and the bluster? It's India's all-out plan to leave Pakistan high and dry. Let's get you a breakdown of why Pakistan is trembling because, of course, of the impact that the Indus Water Treaty could have. Now, the impact is going to leave 50% reduction in the crop yield, and there could be a blackout of up to 16 hours. This is the impact that is going to have after India decided to retaliate. Now, the India-Afghanistan talks, the impact that will be taking place is, of course, that Afghanistan might snub Pakistan because Afghanistan wants to expand economic ties. Remember, India has also decided to shut the Atari border. The impact of it being that Pakistan is now scrambling to stock up medicines, which is going to impact the citizens of the country. Now, import worth $500 million has been impacted because of the same. Interestingly, even propaganda has been blocked completely. There are 16 Pakistani YouTube channels spreading lies that have been blocked completely. These were handles influencers from Pakistan who were trying to spread propaganda, and that has now been blocked. In fact, the BBC has also been warned for pushing this prejudice and bias. And it's a known fact that India's military might is much, much better than Pakistan. That's also one of the reasons why Pakistan has to worry. The impact of it being with India, being the fourth most powerful military in the world, it has the upper hand. Remember, we've seen what has happened previously as well in 1965, in 1971, in 1999 as well. Pakistan has lost 3 major wars, so it knows what it's getting into. But let's get back to what Khwaja Asif has said, that India will soon unleash its wrath. In fact, what makes him think that it is happening soon? This clue might be in history. Let's take a look at also the dates, the timeline of the past provocations and the retaliation that has come in from India's side. Remember, Pakistan knows very well that if it indulges in such terror attacks, then it is going to see a retaliation from India as well. And remember, we've seen it previously as well in the 2016 Uri attack as well. The date was the 18th of September, where 19 army men had been killed by Pakistan-backed terrorists. And 10 days later, we saw the impact. On the 28th of September is when army had retaliated. There were retaliatory strikes that were launched in POK, Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Similarly, in 2019 as well, as we've said time and again, this is not the first time that Pakistan has been found involved in these terror activities. In 2019 as well, with Pakistan's involvement in the Pulwama attack, there was a retaliation. Again, the date was the 14th of February. The CRPF convoy had been attacked, with 40 braves being martyred in this cowardly attack. And 12 days later, India had retaliated. On the 26th of February, IAF jets had bombed the Jaish training camp in Balakot. My colleagues Pradeep Datta and Priyank Tripathi are joining us live on the broadcast with the details of what's expected. And Pradeep, interestingly, Pakistan knows what it's coming. It knows what it has done, and it knows what's coming to Pakistan, which is why such fear-mongering is continuing within Pakistan as well, saying India is going to retaliate. Pakistan knows it well. Take us through the details of what has been said.
Yes, you're absolutely right, because Pakistan is traveling the slew of measures that India has taken, though those are the baby steps, because they know any time the kinetic action will be initiated against Pakistan, that is why making them shiver down spine. And that's one of the reasons that the defense minister has given a statement that any time there can be incursion from Indian side. So they have already bolstered their defenses. They want that the troops will be mobilized at earliest. And he has also gone to the extent of saying that nuclear weapon will only be used when there will be an existent threat to the country. So that time only they are going to use. So they are going for nuke mongering. They are also saying that they are not involved. On the other hand, one can see that the worry that they are having, because they are saying that there should be a neutral probe. But in the heart of heart, one thing is clear, that they also know that about their involvement, because during 2016 also it was seen, as you rightly said, how after Uri the first surgical strike was carried out. They know here is a man called Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Whatever he says, he always translates it into action. He had done it in 2016 after Uri attack. Within 10 days, surgical strike was carried out. Many of their launch pads were targeted and many of the terrorist infrastructure was destroyed and terrorists were also killed. And again in 2019, after Pulwama bombing, 40 of the CRPF personnel lost their lives. Within 12 days, there was an aerial surgical strike. This time, the Indian Air Force was able to penetrate deep inside Pakistan territory and Jaish-e-Mohammed headquarters was demolished and decimated. And that time also the Pakistan was caught napping because nobody had an idea till Indian Air Force was back on their bases. So this time also they fear that anything can happen because already the morale of Pakistan troops is very low. Reason is that somewhere their chief of army staff is also missing from the scene. At a time when Indian Army Chief Upendra Trivedi is visiting different areas, he has already been to the spot where 28 tourists were killed. That dastardly massacre took place. He also interacted with the commanders. He interacted with the Northern Army Chief Commander also. On one hand, where Indian Army Chief is interacting with its troops and Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir seems to be nowhere there on the ground. It appears as if he has gone underground. He's the same man who was ranting just few days before Pahalgam operation that there's about the two-nation theory. He was talking about that Kashmir is a jugular vein. So now today everybody is asking and questioning where is the man who had been calling Kashmir a jugular vein? Why he's totally missing? Because when your commander is missing, because it is said that the commander is the last one to leave the sinking ship, but here in this case, before rats could leave, the commander seemed to be missing, and that is leaving a demoralizing effect on the Pakistani troops, and that's why everybody is concerned, and Pakistan really is concerned, because these political troops are not going to work, because they can just go with the hollow
smoke. Political rhetoric, while it may hit headlines, it's not going to work on the ground, and the troops are also well aware of it, and I'm sure Pakistan is also aware of it. Priyank is also live with us. Priyank, Asif has said that Pakistan military has briefed the government about the possibility of an attack that comes in from the Indian side. This is India's retaliation, looking at Pakistan's involvement in the terror attack that has taken place. As Pradeep was pointing out, though, the military chief seems to be missing in action.
See, 3 days back, he was spotted at a venue where there was an event which was organized in Pakistan, and since then he has not been spotted. I would say it happened 3 days back. So since then, there's no trace of Asim Munir, and neither he's coming out and giving any kind of statement, because knowing his tone and tenure and the kind of proxy provocation which he has been giving in the past as well, we would have expected that he would have come out and once again try to give another kind of provocation or the threat to India. Although they are not capable, we know it for the fact. This is what Pradeep was also talking about. But now at this moment, what we can sense that the Pakistanis are getting into the proxy war, and they are into the cyber attacks more than something which they can do on the ground. Because over the period of last few days, what we have seen that the proxy handles of Pakistani cyber security people have been trying to target Indian websites, although they have not succeeded so far. They have also been coming out with bots of Twitter accounts to target India on the social media platform. So more than the war which is expected to happen on the ground or in the air, the Pakistanis are trying to have a war on social media platforms so that their people can be satisfied and their people can be feeling that something is all good on the side of the Pakistan. But that is not the scenario, because the kind of development which is happening in India, where the CDS has met the senior officials, Raksha Mantri has also briefed the Prime Minister. It is clearly suggesting that India is not going to tolerate this kind of behavior. And what Prime Minister has also stated last time in Bihar, he has stated that मिट्टी में मिला देंगे उनकी जमीन को जो भारत के खिलाफ आतंक करते हैं. So that is one side of the story. On the other side, here in India, agencies are trying their best to hunt down these accused who are part of the Pahalgam attack. There have been several individuals who have come up as a key suspect for facilitating this kind of attack, who are also being hunted by the forces here.
Okay, so it's a story of contrast. On one hand, the leaders in the country who are leading from the front, and on the other hand in Pakistan, where these empty threats are continued to be made. Other than the political rhetoric, there's not much that is being done. Thank you for joining us with those details, Pradeep and Priyank.